Marcus Pacino's counsel table for the defendant, Kevin Hester, for the state, to our first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state called Jasmine Gordon.
Ms. Gordon, will you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that any evidence you give the court in this matter will be true and correct so help you this child?
Yes.
You can proceed. And you are Ms. Jasmine Gordon?
Yes.
All right. And Ms. Gordon, you currently reside in Murray County?
I do.
Okay. And do you know the individual known as Leonard Alford?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know him?
Well, I met him through an old friend of mine, and we kind of just linked up from there.
Okay. How long ago did you meet him?
It could probably be almost 2 years at this point.
And can you describe your relationship since you first met him?
Our relationship was good. You know, of course, we had our ups and downs, but we had a good relationship until that day.
And the day that you just were referring to, is that from November 27th, 2024?
Yes.
And were you guys ever involved romantically?
Yes.
Okay. Were you in a dating relationship?
We were.
How long were you guys in a relationship?
About a year and a half, I would say.
And when did that begin? Was that pretty soon after you met him?
Yeah, I was 7 months pregnant with my daughter, so I'll say a couple of weeks later.
And this may be a silly question. Are you still in a relationship with him?
No.
Okay. When do you know when that relationship ended?
February 29th.
Okay. And so, how was your relationship since that February 29th date? How has y'all's dynamic been, in your opinion?
We just didn't communicate, and I ended up contacting him after our son was born.
And okay. And did you end up ending it, or was it mutual, or how did the relationship end?
I ended it.
And then any issues at all with arguing at all since then?
No.
And did you have to come in contact with him on this November 27th date, 2024?
Yes.
How did you come in contact with Mr. Alford?
Well, he was watching both of my kids for me, my daughter and our son, for me to go to work.
And just for the record, how old was your son at the time?
3 months. 3.5 months.
And what is his name?
Nazir Gordon.
Nazir, okay. And so, where do you work?
At the time, it was Tennessee Distilling, but now I'm a CNA at Morning Point.
So you were at Tennessee Distilling,
Mm-hmm.
and would it be common for Mr. Alford to watch your kids while you worked?
Yes.
Okay. How many times would you say that you watched them?
It was a couple of times before that happened. Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. And so would you come and pick up the kids after work?
I would.
What time did you get off work at Tennessee Distilling?
5. Some days I got off a little early at 3 if the lines are okay, but if we still need my production, I would get off at 5.
And so you come pick up the kids, just swap them, and you go back to where you resided?
Conversate a little bit, talk for a second, and then I'll leave, but yes.
Overall, in your opinion, pretty cordial?
Yes.
The interactions? Okay. And what occurred on this day? How did we get to here?
He kind of just messaged me out of nowhere, talking about my daughter's father and more. And he had asked if my daughter's father has been to my house before. And I said yes, because he's her father and he fixes her up and all the things. And I feel like with me saying that, he took it a different route. I feel like he took it as if I was cheating, we was together, still cheating, and still messing with him.
And when you took it, were you still at work?
Yes.
Okay. And what time of day was this, you recall?
Ooh, I want to say maybe between 12 and 2.
So after you okay, so it was early afternoon.
Yeah.
So after you received that message, what did you do?
I texted him back, and then he ended up messaging me again. And I can't quite remember exactly how that message went, but I remember the end of it saying, I'm keeping my son, you can go find another effort to have him with. And when he said that, it scared me, so I left work early, and I went to his house.
and you went to his house, and what happened when you first arrived at the house?
When I first got there, I did just walk in. That's kind of what we've always done, even though he did send a message saying that I no longer could do that. But
When did he send that message?
when?
Yes, ma'am. Was it during that same text?
I think it might have been that same text. Honestly, that same text, and then he said that at the bottom.
So I guess in my question, it wasn't like a month ago, 2 weeks ago.
No.
Okay, so it was that day.
It was that day, same message, yes.
So you get to the house, you walk in.
Mhm.
What happens right when you walk in?
I tried to go for my son, and he won't let me, so we ended up kind of tug of warring over him, and I got the better hand of it. And then right after I grabbed him, as I'm looking for his things, he chokes me.
Okay, and I just want to be clear, when you grabbed him, was that your son?
Yes, right.
I know this is pretty maybe obvious
Yes.
sort of question, but I have to establish that. So you grabbed your son,
Mhm.
and for context, where were you guys in the house?
We were in his room.
Okay, in the bedroom?
In the
Mr.
bedroom.
Alford's bedroom?
Yes.
So you got your son, and then tell me next what happened?
I'm looking for his belongings as I'm holding him so I can get ready to go. He chokes me right in this area.
He being Mr. Alford?
Mr. Alford, yes.
And you made a motion there. Do you know which hand he choked you with?
His right hand.
And how long would you say he choked you?
I'll say 30 seconds. It was a good pause before he let go.
Okay. And at that time, when he was choking you for that 3 seconds, did he squeeze your throat?
Yes.
Could you breathe at that point?
No.
And then, so he let go, and then what happened?
And then he has a rolling chair, and I went over there in that corner and sat down with my son.
And we're still in Mr. Alford's bedroom?
Still Mr. Alford's bedroom.
Okay.
And I went and go sit in that chair. We're communicating, going back and forth, and then he goes to reach for our son again. And as I'm blocking him off, he ends up stepping back and hitting me in the upper part of my face.
And again, do you know which hand he hit you with?
I would say the right hand, because of how he swung. So I would say the right hand.
It looks like you made a motion with an open hand. I'm just saying that because somebody
Yeah,
listening
so
to
that's
this-
what it felt like. He hit me with an open hand.
So hit you with an open hand. What did you do then?
I instantly started crying and I called the police.
Did you make any kind of defensive moves, or did you try to attack him at all?
Nope. I did not.
So you tried to call the police.
Mhm.
Why do you say you tried to call the police?
And I'm not gonna say try. I called the police. I was right after he hit me, and I cried for a second. I reached for my phone and I called the police.
And where was Mr. Alford at this point when you were calling the police?
He was still in his bedroom, and he was walking around. And as soon as I grabbed the phone, he was like, "That's fine. I'm gonna grab my phone. I'm gonna call them too." So we both were on the phone at the same time with the police.
And continue on. And then what happened?
And then he wasn't letting me leave, so the police was like, "I need you to get your kids and go outside so we can understand you better." So I was able to go outside, and then that's when the police showed up and we talked about what happened and so forth.
And so you went outside. Did you see what Mr. Alford was doing from the time you went outside until the time
When I went outside the first time, he was just in the house. He was in the house, I guess still on the phone with them, and he had threw my jacket and my keys out on his porch. And then all the policemen started to pull up, and then as he steps outside on his porch and started talking about what happened as well.
And do you by chance recall who you spoke with, the name of the officer?
No, I don't know. I don't remember his name.
That's okay. How long were the police there at the house?
I'd say maybe 20 minutes because they were talking to us, and then the police officer that was talking to me had took me off. We had left to go do the order of protection. So there was still some left after we had pulled off.
And so you stated that you have an order of protection, is that right?
I do.
Okay, so you spoke with the officer. You stated that Mr. Alford also spoke with the officers as well. What happened? What happened then?
After he spoke to the officers?
After you left?
Oh, after I left?
Yes, ma'am.
I did the order of protection and I went on my way, and somebody called about where I can know if he's close to me, a device or something like that, and that's just about it.
And do you recall that the officers, I know this is only going to go in November, but do you recall that the officer you spoke with took any photos of you?
He did.
Injuries you may have?
He did.
Did you end up having to go to the hospital?
I did it.
Did they ask you if you wanted any EMS treatment?
They did.
Okay. Did you accept?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And then at that point, what occurred after that?
I just went home after that, talked to police, with border protection, let me know how things might have went, as far as today, and that was it.
And did you happen to see any further interactions between law enforcement and Mr. Alford? Is there anything else that I have not yet asked you that you feel is important for the court to be aware of?
No. No.
Did this all occur here in Murray County?
It did.
Do you see the person you know being Leonard Alford here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Would you point to him, please? Your Honor, please let the record reflect that the witness identified the defendant. All right. I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Gordon, this incident took place at 2004 Morris Avenue, is that correct?
Yes.
And that is the home that is owned by Mr. Alford, is that correct?
Yes.
And you said that you had known him for a couple of years, and y'all had been in a dating relationship for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me when you first met him, when you say you've known him for 2 years, what's the beginning of that 2 years?
It was September. I just know it was in September. I don't remember the exact date, but I do know it was in September of 2022.
Okay.
Because I was still pregnant with my daughter.
Okay. And so you met him in September 2022, you were pregnant with your daughter, and there was another person that's the father of that child, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then was he living at 2004 Morris Avenue at that time?
That I know of, yes.
Okay. And then during that year and a half, y'all dated, and then you got pregnant with your son, which is also his son, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, for some reason, you said February 29th of 2024, which had been almost a year ago, y'all kind of broke up and were no longer dating.
Yes.
Okay. However, y'all still maintain contact with each other, is that correct?
No, we didn't have any conversation after we broke up. I contacted him after I had our son.
Okay. And then, and when was that son born?
August 9th.
2024.
24.
Okay. And then you got back in touch with him at that point?
Yes.
Or did you say your son's been born?
Yes, I called him and I was like, our son is here.
Okay. And then at that point in time, did the two of you start talking? I'm not saying dating, but did y'all start communicating with each other because y'all had a son together?
Yes.
Okay. And you were employed after you had your child and went back to work, I'm assuming?
Yes.
And then if you needed some help watching your daughter and your son while you were at work from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he was helping you with that.
Yes.
Okay. So between August 2024 and November 27th, 2024, when this happened, there were times, it was kind of routine, where he would watch the children while you were at work.
Yes.
Okay. And then we get up to November 27th of 2024, and it's my understanding that you were at work that day. Is that correct?
I was.
Is that the day before Thanksgiving?
No, day after.
Sometime around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was November 27th, so after.
Okay. But nevertheless, you were at work,
Yes.
and the two of you started corresponding via text message. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then the text messaging kind of went to some discussion, or maybe he was upset about you and the husband and the father of your daughter. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said that normally you would work until 5 o'clock unless the production was done early, you could leave early.
Right.
Okay. But based on the text messages,
Mm-hmm.
you became somewhat concerned. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And then you just kind of stopped working and left work. Is that correct?
Yeah, he sent a message in the last part of that message is what scared me. So I went to my supervisor and told her I need to leave right now.
Okay.
Say that again, please.
I got scared because of the last part of the message that he had said, so I went straight to my supervisor and asked her if I could leave.
Okay. And did the last part of the message say, "But my son will be with me"? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, and you can go find another effort to have him live.
Right.
Yeah,
But basically, it wasn't threatening towards you. It was just, we have a son together, and so whatever you're doing is fine, but my son's going to be with me, and you can go be with whoever you want to be.
I did not take it that way.
But that's what it said. I'll just let you look at it. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
You want to just look at the text message and tell me if that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, no, I still take it the way I'm saying I'm feeling.
Okay, but let me read it, and you just tell the judge that this is correct. At the end, he said, "It's about our son, nothing else. We ain't ever got to speak again, and your daughter will be ready when you get her, but my son will be with me. That way you can find a new MF you can make one with. Good day."
Yeah,
Is that accurate? Is that what that states in that text message?
it does.
Okay. And also in that text message, he told you, in effect, do not come in this house.
He did.
Okay. So you got concerned about the son, you left work, and you have been told, do not come in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would agree with me, you had no right just to go up in that house.
No, not technically, because my children were in there, my 2-year-old daughter and my son.
Okay. All right. So you believe that you had a right to go in there because your kids were in the house, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any other reason do you believe that you had a right to go up in the house?
Yes, because in that, like I said in that last message, he was like, if I'm keeping my son, you can go find an effort to have one with. That scared me, me knowing how he is and how he thinks.
All right.
That scared me, so I left so I can get my son.
Okay. Have y'all been to court over that son? Is there any
Nope.
paternity papers, any custody papers, any visitation papers?
Nope.
Okay. So then legally, he has as much right to that child as you do.
No, he did not sign the birth certificate.
But it's his child, you would agree with me on
Yeah, it's definitely his child.
that? Okay. Now, nevertheless, you would agree that when you got to his house, you didn't knock or anything like that, you just went up in his house.
I sure did.
And you went straight to his bedroom.
I sure did.
Okay, and you just went straight in there, and was he standing there when you got there?
He wasn't standing there, but as I turned the corner, he met me at his door.
Okay,
Because he heard his door open, obviously, because I walked in.
all right, and was he standing in between you and your children?
Well, yeah, because my children were in the bag and it was me and him right here. So when I go to reach for my son, that's when he stops me from grabbing my son, and then we start tugging one over him.
Okay, and was your daughter behind him as well?
Yes, she was in her own little world right here on the floor playing.
All right, and then I'm sorry, isn't it true that you didn't knock, you just came up in this house, and then you started going towards him and towards your children, correct?
Not towards him, towards my children, yes. He
Okay.
met me at the doorway.
And did he have the son in his hand?
No, he did not.
Okay, and was he putting himself in between you and the kids?
He was.
And you were pushing him to try to get to your kids?
I was not pushing him. He stood in front. My son was on the bed. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
My son was on, let's say this is my bed. His bed. My son is right here. Me and him are standing in front of my son. As soon as I go to grab him, he blocks me off.
Okay.
Again, I'm already upset and crying, so I get scared, and I start going for my son again. And so that's when we start tugging on.
Okay. And when you're going for your son, would you not agree that you're causing contact with him at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of initiated the contact in this?
No, he initiated when he stopped me the first time from trying to grab my son.
Okay. So do you get past him at that point and get to your son?
Yes, I had a better grip on him, so I was able to grab my son.
And then, what is he doing at that point after you
Walking
take
around
this?
talking smack.
Okay, he's just talking to you at that point.
Yeah, I'm just running his mouth.
Okay, and then do you get up at that point and try to leave with your son?
Yes, and he will not let me leave.
Okay. Did he say he was going to call the police at that point about your son?
He did not.
Then at some point, did you get up to leave with your son?
I was trying to. I tried a couple of times and he would not let me leave.
Okay, when you say would not let you leave, what
Meaning he would pull up his shorts and push me.
Okay.
And would not let me walk out that door.
All right. You had your phone with you at that point, right?
I did.
Did you try to call the police at that point?
I didn't.
Okay. You did not?
I did not.
Okay. And then what about your daughter? What's going on with her at this point?
Nothing. She's just an innocent bystander. She's right there, just playing with whatever toys that she got there. You know, we had TV on for Mickey Mouse. So she's kind of just doing her thing while all of this is happening.
Was he saying anything like, you're not going to leave here with my son?
Yes.
Okay. And were you saying, yes, I am, or something to that effect?
Yes, I'm leaving.
Okay. And then at some point, were you able to get past him and get outside?
After he hit me and tapped my face, and I called the police. I had to be on the phone with the police in order to walk out that door.
Okay. And then did you grab your daughter?
I grabbed my son and my daughter.
So you grabbed both of them.
I did.
And is it your position that he put his hands on you after you had after you had grabbed them, or before you?
The whole time he's put his hands on me while I'm holding my son.
Okay. And is he telling you you're not leaving with my son?
Yes.
And then you call the police and make your way outside, and the police say, stay outside until we get there.
Yep.
And then did he remain inside until the police got there?
He did.
And then when the police got there, the police interviewed you, I'm assuming?
They were interviewing both of us at the same time.
And that's what I was going to get at. They were also interviewing him.
Yes. When he finally came outside to the porch, they interviewed him, and I was over there by my car in his driveway, and they're talking to me.
One second, Your Honor. Anything else you want me to ask her? What do you want to ask her?
At the police report, right? The police report stated that I hit her in the head when she was leaving out with the kids. Okay. Also, that's not the police report. Is this it? That's not the police report.
This is what you had earlier that's on the pink piece of paper.
Okay. It stated that I hit her in the head when she was leaving out with the kids. It also stated that
It doesn't say that. It says you were having an argument over the child. Okay, that she entered the residence and became physical. You stated that after being pushed, that he pushed me back in the neck, causing an abrasion on the right side.
yeah,
And that can always flaking skin.
the door I had my phone.
Okay, what do you want me to ask?
Asked her how did she hit me entering the room? Asked her was I touched entering the room? Because,
Okay, anything else?
nah.
Okay.
Do I want to get on stand too?
No, not the preliminary hearing on that.
Oh,
So, just to get a little bit of clarification. When you got inside the house, he was in between you and your children. He was trying to block you from getting to the kids. Is that fair to say?
That's how I felt as far as my son, yes.
Okay. And you didn't want that to happen, so you kind of pushed forward. Whether you pushed him or hit him or whatever else, you caused the contact into him trying to get to your kids. Is
I
that
just
fair?
touched him. As I'm walking forward, he walking backward and stopped in front of my son.
Okay. And trying to block you from there.
From me getting him, yes.
And then at some point then, did you ever touch him, whether you walked into him or tried to push him out of the way?
I was touching him whenever he was tug of warring with my son.
Okay.
That's the only contact I had with him.
Did you ever slap him?
I've never put my hands on this man.
Did you ever hit him during any of this?
Nothing. I did not touch this man whatsoever.
Other than when you said you just touched him at the
Tug
beginning?
of warring with my son, yes.
Okay.
I did not put my hands on that man.
I need you to ask one more question too. She stated that she was she could not sit through the kids. But you don't know what she found out. Why didn't she call the cops?
You can ask her.
Thank you.
couple more. So when you were leaving work, you were concerned about your son. Is there a reason why you didn't call the police to say, meet me over at this house? I'm concerned about my son.
Because, like I said, we've always been into heated arguments, or whatever the case may be. I was just expecting to argue a little bit, and I go and grab my kids and we leave and end up having a conversation again later.
Okay.
That's how it's always been. We have argued. Yes, that phrase scared me, but I never thought he would have took it to the level that he had took it. So I literally was just like, I'm just gonna go in. We might argue a little bit, but I'm just gonna take my kids and we're gonna go.
Okay.
But no,
All right. And he didn't want you to take that.
no, he stood right in front of me and my son.
And also, if they ask the woman, could you also ask if upon her just walking in the house, did any officer tell her that just entering his home, that was a crime? Right?
That's after the fact. Okay.
What do you mean is after the fact? She already committed the crime when she entered the house, so I'm saying. After
It
the fact.
doesn't matter if an officer told her that or didn't tell her
But
that.
I
After
feel
the
it.
fact, that's a circuit court issue.
I feel you, but I'm feeling like she don't even understand.
Well, that's not for her to understand. That's a circuit court issue.
No, I'm saying that she don't understand that she broke the law. That's what I'm telling you.
But that has nothing to do with probable cause. Okay? Those are my questions.
All right. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
1 second, Your Honor. Now, you have a right to testify, but if you do, he's still going to bind it over. And then you would have been under oath and giving him a shot at you right now, which you've been to trial before. You'd rather than have the first shot at trial.
It don't even matter. I'm just saying that she lied about it.
That's cool. This is preliminary hearing. Okay. So, no testimony.
25.
I wouldn't do it here.
Ezel Law, reset by state.
You good?
Say that again. You said I shouldn't do it here, right? You said I
I
shouldn't
would
testify.
advise you, I would not testify at the preliminary hearing
Okay.
because I don't think you'd be able to refute probable cause.
What do you mean refute probable cause?
I don't think that you would be able to convince him 100% that this didn't happen. And unless you could do that, he's very likely going to bind it over.
But it sounds as though,
Because this is not a trial.
yeah, it's not a trial, but it sounds, once again, it sounds as though that anything he said, anything somebody tell him, he's going to believe anyway.
No.
Yeah, it is. Because, once again, she admitted to this.
Okay.
She was mad when she
Do you
came to
want
that
to go
one.
against my advice and testify, or do you want to take my advice and then
It don't matter to me. I'm saying,
No,
but
it's your
it don't matter to me, man. End of the day, it's whatever. You know, I
We're not going to
justified
put on
trying.
any proof, Your Honor.
Find probable cause in application, grand jury, consideration.
So hold on a second. You have to fill out a form. You need to fill this out. This is how the clerk's office is going to notify you when the indictment has been returned. And notify you when you have.
Well, you already told me the indictment is going to be. So you already told me I'm guilty. All right. So already they already went with it, right? Basically, you're saying they already went to believe it, right?
He's bound the case over to the grand jury. What I'm saying is, if you want the clerk's office to notify you when your next court date is, you need to fill out the top of this.
So if he bound over to the grand jury, that means they had no probable cause, right?
Probable cause, yeah.
All right. So what I'm saying is he did bound.
Fill this out.
I'm going to. I'm saying he didn't bound stuff over to the grand jury when nobody showed up in the past, right? First and foremost, right? I'm gonna be 100 with you. You're not gonna disrespect me. All right, don't talk to me like I'm one of your kids.
Okay.
All right, that's the first thing. That's the first thing.
You can fill that out or you cannot fill that out.
I'm filling it out, but the first thing, you're not gonna talk to me like one of your kids, yo.
I'm not talking to you like
All right, I'm just letting you know.
I'm talking to you like a lawyer would talk to a client.
Well, then do that. But I'm saying you're not gonna talk to me type of way. And the lawyers I had that I spoke to for my legal advice didn't talk to me like that. It was actually like, you know what, we can get this dismissed.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you? It's mighty funny how they don't know nothing about castle doctrine. I don't get that.
Tony Henderson. Yes. You've already entered his judgment.
I don't get that, yo.
I don't know why they didn't put him up there.
I don't know.
I want a testimony. 'Cause I want to make sure she repeat everything she said word for word.
You are able to get a recording of that entire.
I am. It didn't make no sense. It really didn't make no sense, but. And is there any way, and did she get charged for trespassing? She just admitted she trespassed. Did she get charged for trespassing?
I'm not aware of that. I don't.
She just admitted it.
I'm not law enforcement.
What I'm saying, then she get a ticket for aggravated trespassing.
I'm not aware of that.
Let me know when you submit this on.
So she didn't get a charge for trespassing, man.
I'm not aware of
You're
any
at this
charge.
point, Mr.
I wasn't
Officer,
there. I don't know. Y'all
your
fill this out.
conversation with your counsel is carrying over to the whole courtroom.
I understand. I apologize, but I just feel like now this is biased. I'm in a biased situation. Could you go ahead? Just do my appeal, sir. Just do the appeal. Don't do nothing else. Just do my appeal.
Do your what?
My appeal. I just found out that she was never charged for trespassing, yet she just admitted to trespassing my home. Yeah, do my appeal, sir.
You don't appeal a bind over to the grand jury.
Here you go. She just admitted to doing a crime, trespassing my home. Yes, it is. Yet y'all arrested me for taking care of myself and my kids. Is that it? Can I go?
You can go.
Ms. Smith, can you hear the court?
Ms. Price, if she's muted, if you could unmute her machine, please. Judge, subject to the court's approval, Ms. Smith is before the court charged with aggravated assault and criminal trespass. Per disagreement, she would enter a plea of guilty to the amended charge of simple assault and criminal trespass with an 11-month, 29-day sentence.